very hard for you to play such a good guy because it's such a
Very
stretch from
tough,
your...
very tough, very
Normal.
tough.
It was great to play a kid from Delhi. Just hadn't seen that on American television yet.
These kids should be arrested for making such a terrible noise.
Looks like somebody's on the naughty list.
So I wanted to open with like a musical icebreaker, sort of. So this film had a lot of musical elements to it, and I wanted to ask, if you had to pick one festive song that captures the spirit of this film, what would it be and why?
Well, Christmas Karma.
Yeah, Christmas Karma, the theme song.
The theme song, all the songs are great, but I would say Christmas Karma is very catchy and written by Shaznay Lewis and Ben Cullum. Once it's in your head, that's it. I would say that, but I would also say the Christmas Bhangra song. That's a lot of fun with Moki Singh.
All of them. I mean, shooting this movie for the summer, that entire time we shot it. Spring. I couldn't stop humming. It was like every day was a new earworm, I couldn't get them out of my head.
I'm going to say Christmas Karma. I feel like that has the spirit of the film, as in everyone together, everyone having the best time, dancing. You blast the song out. It's so catchy. When you hear it, you just keeps playing in your head all day. That's what I would choose has the spirit of the film. But I really love Boy Inside the Man as a song, which is one that Leo's character sings in the film.
I'd be biased, I'd say Boy Inside the Man. It's got a good message to it. Yes. Although, you're right, it's quite gentle and quiet. And I think a lot of the movie is big and loud and fun. So the message of Boy Inside the Man.
Yeah.
And the Bhangra dancing at the end is a highlight for me, actually.
Definitely.
I was moving around in my seat.
Yeah, good.
And I had Christmas Karma stuck in my head. I had Christmas Karma.
Yes,
I had it in my head. It was so catchy.
Why should I do the forgiving? You must have heard of karma. Well, I was taught it as a child.
From a directorial perspective, how did you balance delivering a modern, culturally rich film while still honouring the original Dickens structure and message?
We all know the book, right? Inside Out. We study it at school. And so for me, it was like, well, if Dickens was alive today, how would he tell that same story today? So I went to Dickens' house in Clerkenwell. I walked around, went to every room, sat in his living room, and sort of took permission from Dickens to say, if you were alive today, what would you do? And out of that, the story started forming in my head. And I came home and I wrote the first draft in 2 weeks, basically. Once I hit the idea of my Scrooge, Sood, being a sort of depressive guy who uses money to make him feel good, basically, it all started, really working for me. And one thing you have to know, I've read since, is that Sood was actually depressed, so is Scrooge, and so was Charles Dickens. So when he wrote this story, he actually was going through a depressive part of his life, and he was trying to get out of it. So actually it was really great to write a story about somebody who'd been traumatized as a child coming to Britain through no fault of their own, with nothing, and then him sort of being in denial of his past and trying to find a way to function, and then with the help of the ghosts who help him to see joy and life, in a new way. So
Kunal, you play Mr. Sood, a modern day Scrooge, as some people call it. What struck me most was how his journey explores the importance of love. So were there any particular moments on set where that theme resonated strongly for you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, many. It's difficult to pick one. There were also moments of pain on set. You have to really go there. You can't do this in the middle. So I'm just sitting there like this all day, and everyone's looking at me. But I will say that love was resonated every single day on set, because you can't make a movie like this without love from the crew, without love from the director, without love from the community. And it wasn't just the crew and the cast, it was also community, people bringing food to us, people realizing we're trying to do something that's bigger than ourselves, that's really a story about Britain, about how communities come together, subjugated communities come together to tell a story. So this whole, every day was steeped in love, because we couldn't have done it without that.
Bob Cratchit is such a iconic figure. There have been so many versions of Christmas Carol, and in the book he's such a well-written part of the story.
He's such a good guy.
He's such a good guy. So, and the script and the song do a lot of that work for you. He is kind of the linchpin around which Sood changes his ways. So I was very lucky that Gary Barlow wrote such a beautiful song that really helps the audience empathise and feel what Bob is feeling. So it was a well-written script and well-written song for an actor to come into and just let those things do the talking, if that makes sense.
Very hard for you to play such a good guy because it's such a
Very
stretch from your
very tough.
How was it like listening to the song like from Gary Barlow from the first time? Like, how was it like listening to that song?
It was really exciting, and Gary did his demo on the piano and I play the piano, and so I was like, great, I can do this. And then Gurinder said, plot twist, it needs to be guitar, because it needs to be the guitar that Bob picks up in the first scene when they're looking for presents. And the only issue being I didn't play the guitar. So I think I tried to say, well, maybe they picked up like a keyboard or something.
Try and twist the
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And then it was like, no, it's going to be guitar. So I had a good couple of weeks to start from scratch.
2 weeks?
And
Is that
learn.
all it took to learn?
No, it was like 4 or 5 weeks.
Wowza.
And I was just going around
Guitar's
playing it.
hard.
It's easy when you only have to learn the one song.
Yeah.
You can just focus on that.
You
But
smashed that song, I say.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a good song. It's a tearjerker.
I love it.
As actors, I'm an actor as well. I feel that every role we have teaches us something new about ourselves. So I wanted to ask on this film, Christmas Karma, what was one thing you both learnt about yourselves?
That's a really good question. This was the first time I've had kids in a film. Not just one either, 4 wonderful young children. And so, yeah, I loved the infectious energy that they all had. So when we had our Christmas scenes, Christmas dinner table, they were all just having a blast and a giggle. They weren't too concerned about the camera or the time left in the day. They were just going to have
the best time.
have a good time.
Enjoy themselves.
A joyful spirit of those wonderful young actors.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think working with kids was a first, and I was like, oh yeah, it's quite fun, different.
Because they say never work with kids or animals,
They
don't they?
do.
So it
Tick
was
one of them
great.
off.
I think the Cratchits are at the heart of the story, as in how important family is. And I know that anyway because that's what I think in my life. But it just makes you hone in on that. So when you're thinking about your own family and how important it is, and that life is too short to worry about anything else. So I think just having that time to really focus on that just brings it home to me even more.
As an actor, how has playing a beloved TV character like Raj shaped your own understanding of identity and representation as a South Asian actor?
It was great to play a kid from Delhi. You just hadn't seen that on American television yet. You had seen First Generations, but you had never seen someone off the boat in that way. So that was a real joy. And similar to this movie, we never really talked about accent with Sood or the way he, like, sort of physicality. It all just sort of came together, in this magical realism way. We didn't have to say he should sound more British or he should sound more Indian. It was just this sort of old uncle kind of energy that we really focused in on. And it kind of, you don't even question. You don't even think about it. He doesn't he remind you of all of your uncles who have gone through that? So that's sort of where we went with energetically.
Yes.
I have to mention Bender Like Beckham because you're here. One of my favourite movies growing up. The film's success proved that a story deeply rooted in South Asian identity can transcend generations. People still talk about it now. So what do you think that says about the power of authenticity in storytelling?
Well, I think the success of Bender Like Beckham shows that if you tell a story really well and it's able to get out there, people want to see those stories. People want to hear those stories. And there's just not enough of those kind of stories getting made, sadly. I wish there were more, because then people would have a lot more amazing kind of views into South Asian life. But I think that the fact that the film has had such a big impact, not just on women's football, but just culturally, is a great sense of joy and pleasure for me. And it's amazing now to see all these young people on TikTok doing little skits where they're, doing the dialogue and all. It's very, very sweet. And I mean, I could never have imagined that when I first made the film. And Christmas Karma is a film made in the same spirit as Bendit. It has that same sense of community,
the essence of it,
authenticity. So I'm hoping it'll have the same kind of resonance for that audience, the Bendit audience.
It makes you want to watch it again. You watch it once and you're like, I kind of want to watch it again because
Yes.
there's so much going on. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.